The leash felt strangely comforting in Brad's hand. It had been months since he'd last felt a connection, a reason to even leave the house. The divorce had hollowed him out, leaving his apartment echoing with silence, and his days stretching into an endless, gray monotony. But then, at the park, he'd seen him. A clumsy, black ball of fur. A rottweiler puppy with paws too big for his body and eyes that held an unnerving amount of knowing. He'd named him Rex. Now, Rex sat panting in the passenger seat of Brad's beat-up Honda, his head cocked to one side, taking in the blur of the city. The apartment, usually a source of dread for Brad, felt different with Rex's presence. It was still empty, stripped of the comforting clutter of shared life, but the silence was no longer oppressive. It was expectant. "Well, buddy," Brad said, scratching behind Rex's floppy ears. "Welcome home. It's not much, but it's ours. We're going to need to do some shopping, though. No bed, no toys, no, food." He winced, realizing how bare the cupboards were. Rex, oblivious to the melancholy in Brad's voice, nudged his hand with his wet nose and let out a small, hopeful whine. Okay. Supermarket it is. Let's get you set up, huh?" Brad replied, a genuine smile finally pulling at the corners of his mouth. The fluorescent lights of the supermarket seemed blinding after the dimness of his apartment. Brad, clutching his handwritten list, felt a strange sense of purpose he hadn't experienced in ages. He found himself meticulously comparing kibble ingredients, scrutinizing chew toys for safety, and agonizing over the perfect dog bed. Rex, secured to the shopping cart's handle with his leash, was a magnet for attention. Shoppers smiled, cooed, and asked about his breed. Brad found himself chatting easily, a far cry from the withdrawn recluse he'd become. One by one, he ticked off the items on his list. A plush, circular dog bed, filled with orthopedic foam, a collection of squeaky toys, a rope bone, a rubber duck, and a surprisingly realistic plush squirrel. And finally, a giant bag of premium puppy food, guaranteed to promote healthy growth and a shiny coat. "Got it all, buddy," Brad said, patting the overflowing shopping bag. Rex, tail wagging furiously, was vibrating with excitement. He pawed at the bag, a low growl rumbling in his throat as he tried to liberate the squeaky squirrel. Brad chuckled, a deep, resonant sound that filled the sterile supermarket aisle. "Easy there, Rex. Patience, young fella. We'll get home soon enough. Just gotta pay for all this." He trailed off, wincing slightly as the cashier rang up the total.